is a story about little snail. Little snail loved her garden. Her favourite thing was her usual spot. That was her home. The garden was long and narrow, and sometimes she needed to rest in between. The journey was long to her favourite spot, the vegetable patch. She loved to leave a trail behind her. Little snail took her time. She enjoyed her journey, the wet soft grass and the moss, the sun shining on her back. She also said good morning to the ladybird, good morning to the flowers, good morning to all her friends. She carried on slowly until eventually she reached her favourite spot. And she was having a little nibble at this leaf, a little nibble over there, a little nibble here. She munched away her king cabbage, her carbonara, her Swiss chard. Then she had a little rest, and then she munched a little more. Something was different. The garden seemed a bit quieter. She wondered why. She didn't see any of her friends today. Her usual spot was, after all, her favourite spot to find her friends. So she crawled all the way back and she asked Mama Snail, Mama Snail, what's going on? Why is the garden so quiet today? Plus the sun is shining. The children already have found all the Easter eggs, and they kept the very special ones and found a little place in the garden to put it, so she was admiring them. And the ladybird seemed quite fine, and the butterfly seemed fine. The flowers seemed nice and bright, and the spring sunshine and the rain at night all seemed quite regular. But something was missing. Then Mama Snail told Little Snail, you know, Little Snail, Mama Snail said, we need to be careful. We need to stay put. We need to stay nearby and safe. You need to stay close. And you can't see your friends. You are not allowed to go beyond the fence. Why not, Mama? Little Snail replied. Mama Snail, all she could say was that she had stories of a nasty bug. The bug was destroying everyone's garden. It was a nasty bug. Yes, a very nasty bug. What is a bug? You mean like the ladybird? She's friendly. No, little snail. No, my little one. This is a bug that we have never encountered before. A new one. Not the stag beetle. No. This is something that we don't know, but we have to be careful, said Mama Snail. Do not go beyond the fence. All right. So, little snail, the next day, she slowly slithered across the garden. She said good morning to Ladybird. She admired the beautiful flower. She felt the sun, the warm sunshine on her back, until eventually, slowly, reached the bottom, the end of her garden, the vegetable patch. And she found her king cabbage and her Swiss chard. She found the juiciest leaves and was munching. She thought to herself, I can munch away and munch away. I don't need to even share, because all her friends were not there. She was all alone. But then she remembered she could not go and explore. No, she couldn't do that anymore. She felt lonely and sad. Without her snail friends, who were somewhere, maybe not even there, beyond the fence or any other fence. All she knew was her vegetable patch, her usual spot. But even that felt lonely and sad, so she cried all the way back. She cried and she felt very sad and lonely. Mama Snail could see her cry, and all she said was, Hush, little one. I am here. I am here. I am here for you, and I love you. She wiped her tears, but little snail, the day after, crawled around the garden again. She could feel the pain of being all by herself. First she was enjoying the fact that she could nibble at all the cabbages she wanted and didn't need to share. But now she didn't even care. She wanted to play hide and seek amongst the leaves. She wanted to find her little snail friends. She noticed there was a little girl up on a tree. Ah, yes, that is the girl of the garden. She is wearing a golden crown. She must be a queen. She is maybe the queen of my garden. Maybe I can ask her. But the little girl was a human girl, and she was only a little snail and could not speak the human language. And the little girl could not speak snail language. But she could see that the little girl was looking. She said to herself, little girl is looking at me. And she smiled. And that was enough. She felt safe. She felt very safe with the little girl. The little human was very kind. This was a shared garden after all. You see, she had heard terrible stories, little snail. She had heard horrible things about other snail friends and distant family and relatives. Once her uncle was crushed and squashed by a shoe, and her grandma, oh, once she crossed the road and never made it to the other side. And her cousin once said that felt these big hands picking her up, and all she knew was that then she flew. She flew across to the other side of the fence. She landed on something soft. Everything was black for a while, but when she woke up, she was somewhere else, and then luckily she found her way back so to tell this story to the other snails. And another friend of a friend snail once said that she had a terrible tummy ache because she was munching on a leaf that was a bit bad. They all whispered to each other, said, "Humans, don't trust them. They put nasty things on our leaves. They don't like us. Sometimes they want to squash us. Sometimes they want to, I don't know what they do to us. They torture us. They're even worse than the birds." Yes, they had to be careful with the birds, of course, because the snails were their favorite to feast upon. Little snail was feeling even more sad and more lonely, and even now a bit scared because she remembered all these horrible, terrible things. But all that Mama Snail said to her was, "I am here. I am here. I am here for you, and I love you." Little Snail fell asleep and felt safe. And so the story goes that each day, for many days, in a very quiet, empty garden, Little Snail went to her usual place, munching away on her favorite cabbage leaves. Until then, one morning, she noticed that the little girl up the apple tree wasn't there anymore. And then she noticed that there was a little noise behind the other side of the cabbage. She could hear a snail eating